3, 2, 1, go!
Destination.
Come on back! I need you! Look, you're gonna be okay. Hell, at this point, you're more okay than me. Shit, that explosion took out the commander. We have a job to do. We're still gonna do it, it's just...
Landing in 1 minute. Should be able to see it coming up on my right.
Found out a little more about the first wave. They're all either dead or MIA. So this is up to us. That's why we need to get it together, right now.
JTF 6-8 to tower, visual Hudson. Yeah, division agents on board. That explosion was their right end. Okay, clear to land. JTF 6-8.
Usually you need some time to know if you can count on someone. Well, we're out of time. My bet's on you. It has to be. I hope to God I'm right.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Lucky13 here, and today I'm going to bring you some gameplay from the Tom Clancy's Division beta. Now, this is going to be a quick rundown review of my impressions of how the game would impact the MMO and not really FPS because it's a third-person shooter. However, I'm just basically, I will be comparing it to multiple other third-person over-the-shoulder shooters throughout my little gameplay here that you'll see in a few minutes. Basically, when I first start out, you know, it seems really free-flowing, not really like there's a lot of restrictions. I just want to move around a little bit and check some things out. I'm kind of confused still. Basically, at the beginning of the game here, it seems a little, you know, undirectional. I mean, you can see that there's icons in the far distance, which you will have to go to in order to, you know, do any quests or missions that they like to stay on here. Just open up the map here, and you can see that I got to run quite a ways to get to where I need to be. So it's going to take me a little bit. So first we'll go ahead and run through here. Okay, and I do apologize about the small frame rate drop there. It's actually me working in the background on a different screen, alt-tabbing and such, so you'll be seeing some of that off and on throughout the gameplay. Basically what I was looking for throughout this little town, while I just ran through that little tent there, was like some loot. Apparently they want to make the loot very minimal. I guess they don't want people to start out OP or anything like that. But I figured, you know, maybe if they add some like bandages or some cloth and stuff, you know, you could sell it for the dark currency or whatever it's called, dark zone currency. But you know, it would make it a little more interesting, a little easier way to grind money, I guess you could say. Seeing as grinding will be a little bit of an option in this game, you'll have to grind a little bit, I guess, actually, if you want to buy any money, or buy any items. My mind's just everywhere right now. I was pretty excited just to get to actually play the game because I went through a lot of hoops just in order to actually play the game. So I mean, I've been messing around with it a little bit, trying to figure out what's going on and how it works. As you see, I just threw my gun out there, and it's a little new to me. You know, it kind of reminds me of I want to say Dead Space in a way, because you know you pull up your sights and you're looking over your shoulder. Now in Dead Space, it's kind of the same way. So I mean, also I think it's versatile in Dead Space also, that you can maybe, I think while you got your sights up, you can switch back and forth from camera left to camera right. And also Sniper Elite. So if you've ever played either Sniper Elite or Dead Space, either 1 through 3, I don't know if they got maybe a 4. But anyway, if you've played any of those, either two games, you're going to feel right at home playing Tom Clancy's Division, because I mean basically it's the same principle of the camera and the gun and stuff like that. Now, I've also heard, let's see, what's the name of the other game? Pooh. Not Pooh. You know, I was just playing the game the other day. What is the name of that game? Not Left 4 Dead, which I'm sure Left 4 Dead is similar to. Borderlands. For some reason, people keep saying Borderlands is a lot like this game. Now, the only thing I've noticed that Borderlands in this game has anything in common would be probably the trading or the buying and selling system. That's pretty much about it. I mean, it's not cartoony. Borderlands is in first person. Isn't it first person? Third person? I don't know. It just don't really feel like Borderlands to me. I mean, it probably has more in common with Dead Space and Sniper Elite in my mind. But I mean, if you've played those two games, you'd feel totally at home playing this. The way it moves and stuff. So I mean, another thing I do like about this game is it doesn't have that bowl effect, kind of how World of Warcraft and Guild Wars, you know, the larger MMO style games has. I mean, it does have restrictions, but it doesn't have that bowl effect. Like, say, oh, there's a giant mountain there. Well, let's turn down an alley here, and you'll see cars piled up. Well, that's a little strange to see a bunch of cars piled up in an alley, but you know, it's New York, so I mean, you're gonna have some strange things, right? No biggie there. So basically, he was telling me, my friend here was telling me that you could bring your map up and leave yourself a line, which is easier to follow, you know, in case you get lost out in this large world. And also, I noticed in this, like these areas like this, for instance, there may be some loot here. I don't know, because it's not really popping out at me, and I'm used to like loot popping out a little bit, or if something looks out of place and you want to investigate a little closer. Well, to me, it just looks like trash and cars and a couple of people. So I mean, it's not really, nothing's really popping. Maybe I noticed that there is a slight glow around like the stashes and stuff. So maybe if they intensified that a little bit, or put a little mark on the map or something, just to signify that there may or may not be something there. It's, you know, it's just something optional. But like in most alphas and betas, you know, they just basically want recordings and feedback and information and reviews and will people like this game? Why won't they like this game? How come, you know, why won't they like this game? The only thing I can see right now is that basically you can't jump. They remap most of your keys right off the bat. Tab, I think, is default for melee. I don't use tab for melee. I use V because Battlefield and Call of Duty have set the standards for V being your knifing melee attack. So I mean, it's kind of it just threw me for a loop there for a minute. I was like, whoa, I can't use that. And I noticed right here that you couldn't jump, and that was kind of getting to me a little bit. You know, I was like, I gotta fix this. And settings, I wasn't looking for settings. You know, I was looking for options initially. I don't know why. And plus, I wouldn't put settings all the way down at the bottom right. I'd probably put it more toward the middle and the left, because it'd be faster to get to. So I go through here and I'm looking for basically the knife. You know, I want to change this right now because it's just ridiculous. So I'm just going to look through here. And I'm not seeing it but right off, but I do find it and I do change it. So I don't know why it said to zoom in. I was just basically looking for tab. I wasn't even looking for zoom in. I have no idea. I was like, zoom in. What does zoom in do? So basically, right off, that was wrong to begin with because it says zoom in and tab. Well, when you hit tab, you know, it hits, makes your arm or gun, your secondary, whatever, hit, and that just, I wasn't having it. And the med kit's V, and I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. Now, in some games I do play, the tab is also another button for your inventory, which I'm fine with that. I can switch either or. But I mean, they just really need to think the remapping of the keys before they just throw this out here to people, because they're going to be like all upside down and backwards. If you're used to a set pattern, you're going to have to go in and set this yourself. Maybe they could use like a a user profile, something, I don't know. But basically what I'm doing here is just exploring the tunnels. There was just nothing to do, really. I mean, I'm going to do a mission later, and I'll show you the mission. But basically I'm just exploring the tunnels. It's just to see how far this world, you know, underground, the subterranean stuff covers, because I'm just into, you know, I want to know how good they do their games when they do them. Because I want to give an honest to God, you know, the best of my ability review on this game. Aside from the graphics, the gameplay, let's see what else, the mission styles, the mapping, following the maps. Right now, out of about 10, I want to settle for just based on a few things, you know. I'm gonna base it around 7.5 out of a 10. Now, I haven't done any PvP yet, and I've only done one quest, and I guess it's on normal or easy, I don't know, whatever game mode this is I'm currently playing on. I also noticed that you can switch back and forth, you know, from left to right with your shift button, which is also your run button. And most games, it's hold your breath button when you're sniping. So I mean, basically, it's just something. Yeah, I like that. I like being able to be versatile with which side I'm looking down in case I get attacked and I need to maneuver my camera so I can see where I'm getting attacked from and who's shooting, and so I can position myself to better attack. One thing I did not like that I would suggest changing or making a modification for, there's a bug here, by the way. I don't know why, but I couldn't switch my guns and I couldn't fire it. I actually had to restart the game in order to get to play. But one thing I did notice is, like, if you're behind cover, you can't immediately get up and just dart. You can't get up and just run to another place of cover. You actually have to uncover, run, and then recover. I didn't much care for that because you have to do simultaneous actions at once just to move. I didn't care for that at all. So that may be something that needs to be looked into. Just depending on how, I guess, how many reviews people include that, or, you know, a lot of people don't even care. So it's just one of those things. So I'm basically just trying to figure out why it's not working. And then my friend here told me I need to restart, log out and log back in, so I do just that. So to log out and log back in, just to get my guns to work. Now, I don't know if it's just a bug for some people or everybody, or if it's a known issue already and it's being taken care of. But again, like I said, it's just the alpha beta stage, and I guess everybody's already reviewed an alpha. Now it's in the beta stage, open beta, which with a selected amount of people, obviously. So we get to give them more feedback about the game. Okay, you also notice basically I went from wintertime to autumn or spring. Anyway, there's no snow on the ground virtually. I don't know if that's a glitch or if it just changes just because it can change. I mean, it's not really a game-breaking idea that I noticed this, but it's just something weird. I figured you'd at least stick with the same time or, you know, state of how the game is when you come out and come back in. Maybe like the game is set in the wintertime here, and when you get to your headquarters it'll change, or, you know, it's kind of weird. But like I said, it's not game breaking, so it's not something I'm really that worried about. It's just a little weird. I was just like, wow, whoa, all the fog's gone and it's daytime, or the snow's gone and it's daytime. But, you know, I think my friend actually had to rejoin me. I'm not really for sure, I can't remember. And basically the best way I've noticed to take these enemy down is to try to get as many headshots as possible, because it takes them down pretty quick. Of course, I'm always a headshot anyway. I always aim for the head. I don't know why. It's just, if you don't have a head, you don't move, right? I mean, that's my philosophy. If you don't have a head, you won't be moving. I'm just gonna climb up here and look around. Is there any more enemies? I don't see any more enemies. Also, I get to look around a little bit to see what the city looks like. Also, if you hold down S and shift, which is also your run, and your camera changing, when you got your scope up, you can slide down the ladders. So I found that it's actually pretty cool. You can do the fireman ladder slide. I don't know what it's called exactly, but you can slide down the ladder instead of having to climb all the way down each individual rung, which I do very much appreciate them adding that in. That's pretty cool. Now, possibly if they could add in a rolling system, a sliding system, or something of that, that would be a little more interesting to be able to slide or roll to your next position. Now, if there is one, somebody please add that in the comments below, because I couldn't find it, or I couldn't figure out how to make it work. I noticed there's no prone or crouch. I mean, you can run with your head down if you hold control. I don't know what good that's really going to do. Like, you can't really sneak. You can, but you can't. You have to be behind cover everywhere you sneak. And as far as I can tell, I think there's 3 shooting positions. There's one is wide open, out in the open. 2 is behind cover with your head stuck out, and 3 with just your weapon stuck out. Now, I was just kind of messing around here a little bit to see how each of those worked. But I couldn't really figure out how to get the weapon just to fire over my crouch position behind, you know, being leaned up against an item or a wall or a truck or a van. I couldn't figure out how to just get my weapon to fire without my head being exposed. So it took me some time to get used to that. Now, there is a way. I'll show you a little bit later on. Let's see here. Okay, we got this all cleared out. Kill a little miniature boss type guy, whatever he was.
Thanks for the report, Bravo Squad. Stay alert out there and keep it frosty. I'm glad you made it.
And this is pretty much the only other thing I can think of. This is its own deal. And I've seen this in a few other games, but I can't really recall what they were. You got your basic setup here. You got your primary DPS, your health, and your skill power. You got your secondary. I guess you get like 2 primaries and 1 secondary, or a primary backup and a secondary. I'm not really sure how that works. You get knee pads. You got different backpack, rucksacks. Let's see. I don't know if you got elbow pads or not. You got this is your mask for your to get out of the contamination. You got gloves. They don't have boots that I noticed. Just not starting, so I mean they may have, but I just may not have found it. Basically, I'm just trying to figure out how to maybe modify or change my weapons here. But I'll be fooling with that later, because there's a lot in this game, and the faster you process how to make it work, the faster you'll be having a lot more fun. So I would recommend playing with the first couple of levels that you play this game, just to get an idea of how all your weapons move, change, modify, how are your skills, perks, and everything is set. Just to get an idea of how the game's going to play for you.
The people of New York are getting their city back. Our base of operations has potential, but right now it's a piece of shit.
And they have little cutscenes like this that you can skip through by holding down F, which is your use button. So it's pretty easy. Alright guys, until next time, I'm going to make another video showing the first mission I go on. And if you like this, go ahead and rate, subscribe, comment, and give it a big thumbs up. And stay tuned for the next mission, or the next video for the next mission. Alright guys, it's Lucky 13. Remember, game on!